Ava landed here. Now that we have pressed our binding out, see how it's flat? What we're going to do is we're going to take some safety pins. You probably could do it with safety pins, but we're just going to use straight pens. So we're going to take a couple of these pens. And in fact, you're probably going to need a lot more than this, but I'm just going to show you how to do this. Oops, random string. All right, so now that everything is pressed flat, what we're going to do is we're going to pull this top piece. Actually, I'm just going to rotate this quilt real quick. You're going to pull the top piece over here. And really what you want to do is you want to cover that seam line. Because what we're going to do after we've pinned everything is we're going to flip it back over. We're going to stitch in what's called stitching in the ditch. And that means we're going to stitch right in the seam line. So as long as this piece covers that seam line, then it's actually going to sew through it. And that's how we're going to machine bind this. And so the easiest way to do this is just to use a bunch of pins. And see, and we're just going to go through and we're going to pin it and make sure everything is covering all of the seam lines. And that's about it. So I'll be back again to show you how to actually stitch in the ditch. As you pin, make sure though that when you go to stick it in, it doesn't shift. And we're just going to go around the entire quilt. That's about it. Because this back piece has a tendency to move, you're going to need to use a lot. And in fact, like, I don't think I like the way I pinned that because it's still moving. You might want to try to get it to go in twice. Oops. Can't seem to get it. Kind of a long pin. There we go. And now you'll see it's not moving at all. Before, like when it's like this, it's shifting. And I definitely don't want it to shift because you need to catch it from the front side. So we're definitely going to do it more stationary. There we go. And we're just going to go all the way around. Now when you get to the corner, since we're doing a mitered, what's called a mitered corner, the way I generally do it is I look to see on the front side, see how that has an angle. I usually go in the same direction. There's some people that go in the opposite direction, and that's okay. So what you'll see that I'm doing here is you're going to fold it over. Oops, let me put that back in the camera. Okay, so you can fold it over and go ahead and pin it for stability. And then you're going to come to this side, and you're just going to fold that over. And that's it. And you're just going to pin. See? Pretty corner. Oops. Sometimes these pins can be a bit tricky in getting everything to catch, but it is important to pin it properly. You have a lot less problem sewing when everything's secured with pins. All right, now we're just going to go all the way around. If you find that you may have miscut your batting and this little binding right here isn't stretching all the way over, just take some scissors and cut it down. There's no need to fight with it. Let's see. Yeah, that's about it. I'm gonna keep going all the way around, and then I'll be back as soon as I finish that part to show you how to sew. And again, we're just gonna stitch in the ditch. So if you already know how to do that, be my guest, go ahead and start sewing it. And if you don't, I'll show you how. All right, guys, see you soon.